What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Clutch Cinema Talk. Guys, it's going to be a busy month. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, is coming out at the end of this month. And in preparation for that, we are going to be going Godzilla heavy on this channel. Now, all of those of you, don't run away. This is also still a Gojira review. But this is just a heads up. We're going to be doing every single Godzilla movie. So if you watch this movie in the future, go check out all the other reviews. If you're just watching this just from a horror standpoint, hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, leave a comment, and turn on those post notifications. There will be spoilers in this video and all the other Godzilla reviews, so just be mindful of that. This movie's been out for almost 100 years, so you should probably get on that. Gojira. My Japanese was not clear with me. Arigato. Godzilla, 1954. The movie that started it all. The classic horror story. I still believe what's the saying? Holds the test of time? Something test of time? Whatever it is, whether you consider it a horror movie or a sci-fi movie, in both departments, it will always be one of the all-time greatest. Well, a lot of people know, but if you don't know, Godzilla highlights just the horror of the time. It combines the nuclear testing and the ramifications on the environment at the time and combines them and just becomes the wrath of nature and just the consequences of nuclear testing at a time of their post-World War II. The plot of Gojira, 1954. Some boats they start sinking on the coast of Japan, and everyone's like, what the heck is going on? They start doing some research on islands, and they find out that there's a giant creature, the mythical, the fabled Godzilla, known for eating a bunch of fish, I think they say, and they started, people on the island started sacrificing girls. Like, yo, that was crazy back then. Yo, people were sacrificing girls just to appease what happens if it didn't work? Anyway, Godzilla, they find out that there's a Godzilla, and Godzilla ends up wrecking Tokyo. It's a classic tale. Godzilla, this is the first time Godzilla just wrecked Tokyo. But what makes this movie the staple of all Godzilla films, the one that they just start going back to recently, is always going to be compared, not just the horror aspect of it, of just, the obvious, the nuclear, the subtext, is that there is a lot of other just political and environmental, dark, depressing elements of this film that makes it even more than just a monster movie. Certain things that take place in this movie that I have written down here and noted is, one, there's a debate on whether or not the public should be made known about Godzilla. Just an interesting moral conundrum on whether you should tell the public about something that could harm everybody, or you keep them from knowing the truth and hopefully be able to stop them before there's a panic, which could also spread death. And that's a really interesting piece of this movie that they go over when they find out about Godzilla's existence. The failed attempt at stopping Godzilla, one of the failed attempts with the electrical wires and everything like that, is such a dark scene. If you really think about it, just the failed attempt of trying to stop something, this natural force from destroying all Tokyo, and all you can do after that is just wait it out. You have no control over it. It is horrible. You're watching this thing just destroy everything in Japan, in Tokyo, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's a love story built into this movie revolving around class. One of, what's her name? Emiko, I believe it is. I believe it's Emiko. She is kind of in love with Dr. Serizawa, but her father doesn't really approve, and then there's the whole argument between the father and the boyfriend of whether they should kill Godzilla or not. Is it something for science? Is it something just to keep people from being hurt? These are great discussions to be talking about after a movie. Would you kill a creature like this? Would you need it for science? How could it survive these atomic blastings? It's very interesting, and I feel like when people think of Godzilla, they don't really think about these things. But from the first movie, these things are there. The love story around class, Serizawa's character in itself, it feels like it's I don't want to say parody, but it seems to be based upon Oppenheimer, where they both make an invention that can have devastating effects on the world and change the world. It can be used for horrible things, but instead Dr. Serizawa decides to use it against Godzilla, and also a sacrifice by destroying his invention so no one could get their hands on it, and destroying his mind That way he can never even give up the secrets about it. It's almost like a reversal of Oppenheimer. Instead of Oppenheimer, using that to make the atomic bomb and, the nuclear everything. But Serizawa's sacrifice, it's an enormous thing, and it's almost one of those things that you wish could have happened when in the invention of the nuclear testing and war and everything like that. Something that could destroy the world maybe wouldn't have been the best thing to ever been invented, but that's a discussion for another time. But just that Godzilla is the 1954 one can bring up these discussions about such heavy material and depressing and dark things to think about is amazing, and I believe that's why this makes it such a classic. Godzilla's design. Let's talk about Godzilla himself now. Godzilla's design, iconic. It has that almost like a hurt creature that just comes ashore and it just doesn't really know what it wants to do, but it's just like upset. Like you tampered with this creature almost, and now he's coming ashore and he's upset, and it has that look. It does have that creature look. A lot of people may watch this movie and think that it looks cheesy. Oh, it looks like a guy in a suit, but compared to other movies down the line of the Godzilla movies, this. It doesn't 1000% feel like just a guy in a suit. There are believable moments that make this look like a creature. I think the practical effects of this movie really do hold up for the most part. Certain scenes like the melting of the electrical tower and just the miniature city in general in relation to Godzilla, I think those hold up. You just gotta understand, just at the time, this is the 1950s, this is not 2024. That these were amazing effects and they were very believable. Even then, in a movie like this, the plot and the story and what it really means carries over and can one up the effects in general and make you dive into the story a little bit more, and you're not really thinking about it's a guy in a suit and everything like that. Oh, it looks cheesy and everything like that. But Godzilla's design is iconic. This was the staple of it. The atomic breath being missed. It's iconic. This is what they were able to do at the time. I believe it's a concrete made suit. You can really, that adds to it. It doesn't feel like a guy's suit because you can see the heaviness. You can see it's almost like a heavy creature walking around. It adds to it. It doesn't look like it's just a guy in a suit just moving really fast. Certain highlights. I have highlights for all these movies. There's just some parts in these movies that are just they just make me laugh sometimes. Godzilla on his way out of Tokyo, he goes up to the bridge and Lily just tips it over. Like he's like, yo, I didn't destroy everything yet. You? Bop! Just hits it over, just tips it over. The Japanese Air Force, man, they were selling. I'm sorry. I get the whole they're not gonna set the suit on fire, but every single shot they were taking, they were missing every single shot. That was too much. It was a really cool scene though. It did look really cool. You do see the wires that the missiles are attached to, but come on, like I don't want to nitpick that. If I find out that there's 20 ships off the coast of New York City that have sank in the last week, you really think I'm gonna go on that party cruise next Friday and just dance the night away? I don't even care if they brought up Godzilla's body, put it in the street for everybody to see, even though it's radioactive. That's probably not a good idea. And you told me he was dead? I'm not going on that party cruise. I'm sorry. I'm keeping my ass home. Godzilla 1954, overall, here's my Letterboxd review since I rewatched it and I actually put like a comment for it. I think I talked about the bridge thing, like I just said. It's a classic. It's a perfect example of the 1950s horror being translated into a movie. It's just a perfect example if you can ever think of how horror movies reflect the times. This and I think War of the Worlds, the original one, are very easy and perfect examples, and they perfectly reflect the time. That doesn't mean that it's dated. Like this movie still holds up, especially because nuclear warfare has not gone away. It's obviously not being used as much as that, but great political undertone and just has great watchability. And if you just like these monster movie destructions, this is obviously on the top of the list. You guys let me know what you think about the original Gojira. Arigato. You like my Japanese from 1954. I'm not gonna go over Godzilla King of the Monsters, the English version, because it's like I didn't want to watch them back to back. Maybe another time. Leave a like, leave a comment about what you thought about this, and I hope to see you guys in any of the other Godzilla reviews. We're doing Godzilla raids again tomorrow. I hope to see you guys there, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces, y'all. Yeah.